So, back from the midnight screening of Dark Knight Rises, this video is going to be absolutely full of spoilers. Please, if you've not seen the movie, please turn this video off right now. There are some really cool surprises at the end of this movie. I was totally caught off guard by this. Like, me and a lot of other my friends over the years have joked about, oh, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, you know, he could be Robin. But I never really seriously thought they were going to go that direction in any form. I haven't read a lot of reactions yet, but I can tell you what my reaction is, what I suspect a lot of reactions are going to be. I think that if you're like me, obviously I'm one of those few people who's actually a Robin fan. I think he's a really cool character. For me, what he does for Batman in the comic books is that you always wonder, is Batman just... does he have any humanity left in him? Has he just been consumed by bitterness and anger and revenge? Or is there something left in there? And the fact that he can look at Dick Grayson and have compassion on him and see, wow, he experienced something similar to me, and have compassion on him and kind of take him under his wing shows, okay, he has not been completely consumed by revenge. That's not really how they use Robin in the movie. The whole point of the climax of this movie is that Batman's symbol lives on. The symbol, that's really what this trilogy is about, the symbol of Batman, how it can be used to inspire people. That's why there's so much emphasis, why they show the faces of those kids, you know, on the bus. And there's this emphasis that Batman has done something to inspire, you know, the next generation. And the fact that this Officer Blake guy is there to, if necessary, take up that mantle just shows that, okay, Batman has had a real lasting impact. Doesn't mean there's never going to be crime again. It doesn't mean there aren't going to be terrorists who are going to come along again and try to corrupt Gotham. It doesn't mean the police force has been totally cured. No, it just means that Batman has really made an impact on people here. And I think that's all you can do. So from a cinematic point of view, as far as bringing everything full circle and saying it's all about the symbol of Batman and inspiration, the way they use Robin is very appropriate for this version of Batman. Turning to more of the comic book nerd side of things, I think that Nolan's genius here is that he's found a way to kind of please both sides here. Because there are Batman fans who hate Robin, and there are Batman fans like me who I think he's cool. I think if you're like me, and you're a big Robin fan, like, and again, I haven't read a lot of reactions yet, but I would think the reaction would be, wow, Chris Nolan actually did Robin. Maybe there's some part of me that would have liked to have Nolan who have found a way to make it work for the story, to where we could actually see him put on the costume and fight with Batman. Maybe it would have been cool to do that. You know, maybe there's the part of the Robin, there's the Robin fan in me who would like to have seen that. But it's like, yeah, that's cool. I like that. And on the other side of it, if you're a fan who hates Robin, wants nothing to do with Robin, I think you'll see this and you'll go, okay, if you're gonna do Robin, that's the way to do it. He never puts on the costume. It ties in together with the theme of the movie really well. Maybe you could have lived without that, but okay, if you're gonna do Robin, that's the way to do it. So I feel like he's kind of pleased both sides. Also, to an extent, he's left this open to interpretation. Here's the thing. Here's where I think they really thought this through very carefully. They're not necessarily saying he's Robin. And by that I mean they're not saying he's this guy. It would have been very easy. If they wanted to say that he was this guy, it would have been very easy to find out that his real name was Dick Grayson. I don't know how they would have made that make sense, but they would have basically found, oh, he's Dick Grayson. He's that guy. As far as I know, there's no version of Robin where his first name is Robin. And this Officer Blake character, we later find out at the end of the movie, his first name is Robin. They're not necessarily saying he's that guy. They're drawing a comparison to this guy. This is the guy that Batman is going to pass on the mantle to and inspire. That's what the end of this movie is about. This whole trilogy, in the end of the movie, is about the symbol of Batman and how he's going to inspire people and the impact that he's had. And so it doesn't make sense what I'm saying here at all. Like, post a comment whether or not this makes sense. I think they've left it open to interpretation here. If you're like me, and you're like, my first reaction was, oh my gosh, Robin's in this movie. That was my first reaction. I think that if that's you and you're a Robin fan, you can say, yes, and that last shot where he's in the Batcave, he's going to become Robin or Nightwing or whatever. Yeah, you can say that. Or if you're not really a Robin fan, I think you can interpret it as, no, he's not necessarily going to become that guy in the tights, but he is somebody that the symbol of the Batman inspired, and he's there to take on the mantle if necessary. Batman has left an impact on Gotham, and he is a really notable example of how the symbol of Batman will live on even though the Batman has died. Basically, Robin at the end of this movie is the top in Inception. I think you can look at it and you can kind of have it be what you want it to be. The ending of this movie I found very satisfying for the trilogy. As I think about the movie as a whole, I realize there are some plot holes, there are some things that don't quite line up, but the emotion of it is strong enough to where I don't really care that much. I think I'm gonna watch this movie a few more times and I'm gonna find a lot of problems with it. I did the same thing with Dark Knight. But right now, movies are primarily made for this first viewing, and so I can say I had an amazing experience with this movie for the first time. The first act of the movie, I wasn't really sure how much I was into it. I really, surprisingly, really liked Anne Hathaway as Catwoman, and I thought Tom Hardy as Bane was really cool. I was able to understand, 90% of what he said, which was enough. Really, just great performances all around. Michael Caine really steps up his game here. Christian Bale rises to the occasion of, this is really not really a Batman movie, this is a Bruce Wayne movie. It's really Bruce Wayne rises. I was having a hard time getting into it, and then once Batman's back gets broken, I was just in a state of shock for the rest of the movie, and the whole time I'm going, I can't believe this is happening, even though I'd speculated with all my friends that that might happen. I knew that was a possibility. I've read Nightfall, But to have it happen that early in the movie and the way it was done, I just was sort of on the edge of my seat. My heart was beating a million miles an hour the rest of the movie. So even though I can pick this apart on a plot level and I can find problems with it, it was still an amazing experience. I don't think this is the best Dark Knight movie in the trilogy, but it's still a great movie and a satisfying conclusion to this great trilogy.